All right. I'm not doing this for, for views or anything. I'm doing this because, well, I'm concerned. And I also just want to show people who haven't ever done one how to do a home COVID test, because this is the first time I've had to do a test. I mean, I've had tests done on me many times, since it started. I've never had it. I feel very fortunate. I'm very, very sorry for those that have had it and are damaged permanently, for those that lost loved ones, and of course, the energy and just all of, people are still dying of this. It still happens. So it's still serious, but we take it like it's no big deal. So, anyway, I sanitized the surface of the area. I sanitized my hands. Do it again real quick. No, I washed them really good and I dried them and then I sanitized them like that. Make sure there's nothing on them. I got a clean area right here. Boop. Okay. I've read the instructions a couple of times because, well, with my brain, it kind of, right? Today's been a little difficult for me, but we've come around a little bit here. I medicated a little bit which helped also. So I've read this. I've had to read it repeatedly because I jump all around, right? Odd HD, anyway. So I've read it a couple times. I'm going to read it while I go through it best I can so that I'm ready to go. So preparation: wash or sanitize your hands. Make sure they are dry. Done. Read these instructions repeatedly. Check the expiration date. Now here's something I noticed on a lot of the kits that have the expiration dates up here. If you're buying a bunch to keep them on the shelf so you're ready to go, I bought these today and I had them delivered, and one expires 9/21 and then the other one expires 12/14. So keep that in mind. Luckily these were $9.99, but I got several so I could test now and then later, and then also for my friend. Okay, so next, it says to open the cassette window. So that's this, they call this is the cassette package. And I'm sure, different tests can be different too. This is just how this one is. So we open this one up. And it doesn't say anything like I can't touch it or anything. Okay, what do we have in here? We have a little desiccant. And then I do not want to get any moisture, though. I can tell, like, that's where the collection point is. You don't want to get that moist, obviously. And you're supposed to be doing this at room temperature, which we are pretty much. Okay, so then it says, let's see here. It says how you read it down here, but when putting the drops in, it says to put it, like, hold it sideways and do it. I don't know why, but that's what the diagram says. Anyway, you got a C and a T there, and a QR code to scan off your phone. If you need to report your results or whatever, I would call the VA and let them know, and then, that's what I would do. Okay, next is, so we got that ready to go, and then it says test procedures. Remove the foil. Okay, so now it says take basically the buffer tube. It says remove the buffer tube. So the buffer tube's in this package, another package. Okay, I suppose, one could also wear maybe surgical gloves or something, like nurse gloves or whatever, something like that. I think all I have here are like mechanic ones. So, and it doesn't say you have to, it just says wash your hands real good, but I suppose, you could, I don't know. All right, so here we have a little tube, and it's got like a testing agent in here. You're gonna hear a motorcycle from the neighbor. You got a testing agent here, and you got a little foil cap right here. And it says step 1, remove the foil cap. And then also there's a little, there in this particular model, there's a hole you punch in the top here of the carton, and then this like sits in it like so. So I can't really quite get the tilt on the camera. try to get a better shot for you here. Okay, there, at least. Of course, that's gonna be covered with frickin' the writing on the videos. There we go. There we go. There we go. We got enough distance, I think. Hopefully, you'll be able to see this. So you got the thing. Okay, it says remove this foil, and you got to be careful not to like jerk this around or wherever, because you'll toss out the little the collector serum or fluid in here. So with me, I got to be careful because I have those spasms. Okay, and then you set it down in the little thing. I got to be careful. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then it has a little cap. I gotta be careful, but it also has this little cap thing that goes on here that has, it's like a dropper tip. It's a dropper tip. Okay. All right, we got that going. We got our test window thing there. All right, now it says we're gonna open up this swab. We're gonna take out this swab, and it says do it from the stick end. So here's the stick end. That way you don't accidentally get anything on the other part. So pull it out. There we go. There's the swab, and I want to make sure not to drop it either. And here's the fun part. Now I have a tissues ready to go, you know, in case I start snotting or sneezing or crying. Okay, so basically it says you got to insert this in and go like a half to a 3/4 inch all the way back in the anterior of the, you know, of the nasal cavity, and then you got to like, it says 15 seconds, and you go 5 times. You go 5 times around, you know, in the nostril, and you gotta give it a little bit of pressure and get a good sample. And then it says collect any fluid. If you start having a runny nose, it says try to get some of that on there. And then you're supposed to like stick it up in the other nose. 15 seconds, do the same thing. Okay, and then you're supposed to pull it, and then it says put it in the buffer tube. And so let's not get too far apart. Okay, I'm gonna take off my glasses in case I sneeze. I'm gonna move the buffer tube away in case I have like a, you know. Okay, here we go. Put it in deep, and 15 seconds. Oh, 1, 3. Okay. I think we got 15 seconds there. Okay, here we go. Other side. Oh, it's so hard not to sneeze. I'm trying to watch the clock. I'll definitely get those 5 swirls in. Nice and deep. Okay. All right, it says then quickly transfer this into the tube. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. I've had way worse done to me in the military. Immediately place the swab into the tube and swirl. 30 seconds. I'm watching the timer on the thing here. Oh yeah, I gave it a pretty good rub in there. Oh. My nose is running now. Oh. 15 more seconds on the swirl. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Vigorous swirl. Vigorous swirl. Here we go. At least 30 seconds, so you can go over a few seconds. All right. You got the swirls. Definitely. Okay, now it says pull this out. And then now it says rotate this while squeezing this. So it's like basically put force on the tip of the swab, and then you rotate it. And I'm going to do that a couple ways here. And also you can squeeze it and go up and down. There we go. 2, 3, 4. And we definitely got the 5. Okay, then it says dispose of this. I'll put that over there with those tissues so I can safely throw them away in case I am contagious. I'm doing this all on a table that can be easily sanitized with, like a bleach wipe. Okay, then it says remove it, squeeze it, dispose of the swab. Right now we put this little cap thing on here. You gotta be careful not to spill this. This little cap goes in here, and this turns it into a little dropper. All right, now it says a remove swab false net chaos here. Attach dropper, thoroughly mix by flicking or whatever. But so I'm putting my finger over the top here, and then I'm going to wash my hand to make sure. So it says flick the bottom of the tube or shake it or whatever, but make sure it's thoroughly mixed up. No reason to take any shortcuts here because this is important. No shortcuts, y'all. Take your time and do whatever the instructions tell you on each kit, okay? This is important. This is how we keep each other safe and alive. If it's one of the things we can do for each other, okay? I love you. Okay, gently squeeze tube and dispense 4 drops of solution into the sample well. So there we go. So you see the sample well is right here. 4 drops of solution. Here we go. Are we ready? Let's get it. It says at least 4 drops. I'm looking at the timer too, but here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Make sure. Okay, then we throw this away. All right, now timer set. We have to wait 15 minutes. See you in just a little bit. Still got 10 minutes to go. Some people don't think it's that big of a deal, But I do. I think it's huge. I think it's a huge deal. Heck, I was in the military during the whole anthrax, and deploying to the Middle East and having to get this, like the shot series and stuff, and then people getting sick just from getting the shots and stuff, and and then way back, 88 through 93, and stuff the Coast Guard pumped into me, and then especially when, a whole bunch of us, right? Not just me, but like all of us, and when go to like Haiti or somewhere else, on a humanitarian mission, or like we would get doped up with so many different types of things, yeah. So that's just part of being in the military. You get shot and snorted and tested, and so I kind of like that. I'm actually very relieved that, and I'm very grateful that I got a home test kit here for COVID, and now they have ones for flu A and B plus home test kit. $10 to $15, and I know that's a chunk, but like that, compare that to having to like try to go to a doctor and all that, and like I have such access issues. Going to a doctor is just not, it's just not coffee talk. Okay, I don't know. I wish I could edit this out, but I can't because I'm shooting in tandem because my anxiety is so high. Like I said, I've had many COVID tests done. I've had many different tests done through these last few years and through my life period. And so, I'm nervous. And let's check the timer here. Okay. Whew. I got 8 minutes to go. See you in a little bit. I, Look, once again, I'm not trying to make light of any of this. It's just my own personal defense mechanisms popping up to protect myself and to help myself relax and not freak out. So, once again, I don't mean to offend anybody who's, you know, if you think I'm not taking this seriously, I am taking this super serious. That's why I'm testing. That's okay. See you in just a little bit. Bye. Thanks for being here with me during this, by the way. It's really helpful. I know I'm shooting this video right now and it's not live. Usually I would do something like this live, but I wanted to pause while we're waiting so it didn't have to be a 30-minute video, but I still wanted to have some interaction and some interest. But I'm not trying to edit. There's no script. There's nothing. Here's my tester right here, and so far, I've got a line on the C. So far, I've got a line on the C, which is a control line. But I still got to let it finish doing its thing to make sure no other lines show up. So far, so good. But the anticipation is still killing me. See you soon. We got 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes. Snowy, stay inside. Be back. How about a Greek olive? Lovely. 2 minutes to go. Got about a minute left here. Oh, completely vegan. Vegan. I like this brand, Filled and Roast. Vegan. Classic Pizzeria. Oh, I got these as a snack. These are little plant-based pepperonis I got to put on a vegan little pizza I got. In case, Oh, but I got about a minute to go for the test, so I'm just having a little snack. Look how nice these look. Little vegan pepperonis. Love it. Yes, Batman. We did the test. Did it by the book, and we even went a little bit over because it says between 15 and 30 minutes is the window. And then I got the C. That's all I got. So that is a negative result. Now, it also says, on the word of caution and to be safe, I still could be possibly carrying if I am having any symptoms. I'm not really having any symptoms per se that seem different than I've ever experienced before, but I do have a little bit of scratchy in the throat. But I was also just camping in the rain, and my tent got half filled with water, so I was breathing a lot of moist air, and then it got really hot again, and then I was stressed, and I was cold, and I've been having a lot of stress too. But still, all those things mean my immune system is lower. Plus, my diet hasn't been as very robust as it should be. I haven't been doing a good enough job on my harm reduction. Things like that. So, this is a good reminder. Keep working on my overall health and well-being so that I don't become somebody that then makes other people sick also. So, wear a mask and deal with that when I'm around the other people. And I'm going to avoid, public interaction because I don't need to. even though I got a negative, and I have another test. So I can test by the guidance, in another 48 hours or so, just to double check. If I don't have any symptoms, I probably will do it anyway, and at least when my friend tests and theirs is negative, if that makes sense. Because that's what I'm doing, is I had limited contact, but the scratchy throat plus the contact with somebody who tested positive in a home test kit, if that makes any sense. So I've got extra test kits for them. They're doing really great so far. They're doing fantastic. They previously had the vaccinations, all that, so hopefully this will go easy for them. If you're struggling with COVID, I am so sorry, but I'm about prevention if at all possible. I don't do everything perfect all the time, Sometimes I forget with the mask, and so, it's hard when you're around people you love or you care for to not just be in it with them, kind of join them. But it actually doesn't help us, really. It doesn't help them, really, and it doesn't help you, really, and it doesn't help society, really, by doing that. What helps is getting your vaccinations, if you can, medically. Handle that, get your vaccinations, get your boosters, and follow basic protocols. Wash your hands a lot, wear masks when needed, when suggested, in high-risk situations for your age, all that kind of stuff. And then if you suspect you've been exposed at all or whatever, then grab a test, self-test, knock it out of the park. If you get results, go see a doctor or test again, like the next morning. Keep yourself isolated, test again like the next day. If it's like positive both times, in my opinion anyway, I'd be like, yeah, definitely, get treatment, get to the doctor, right? But you got to go by your symptoms and all that stuff. So I'm not giving any medical advice here at all in any way, shape, or form. This entire video is for informational and educational purposes, in the sense of seeing how somebody else out there is dealing with, exposure, and then considering my age being almost 57, and that I have a low immune system and a lot of other factors like my knee replacements and vitamin D deficiency and severe sleep apnea, severe PTSD, CPTSD, OCD. Like I got, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Okay, the list goes for a while. So I just want to be able to be there and be strong and be able to help my friend out. While they're getting better, and maybe it'll just pop go super fast for them, and they'll just be right back at it. Everything will be fine. Or maybe they'll need a little more downtime, and tomorrow, we'll just see how it goes. But this way I can help, and then I can mask up and then interface and assist, because they'll mask too, and then we got an air filter going, and like I said, I'm going to stay on my stuff. Plus, they're also boosting their immune system, and they already had a pretty good one. So, we're pretty robust people, and hopefully this will go nice and easy. And once again, I'm sorry if you're struggling with the after effects of COVID, or if you're testing positively current for now for any disease, or if you are suffering with starvation, famine, malnutrition, homelessness, houselessness, moneylessness. I'm sorry, and I just wish and hope and just want so badly for things to change for you and to get better, and that you find a way, and you'll find a way through it, one way or the other. I just wish you peace and harmony, and negative test results for things that can kill you. Take care of yourselves. I'll test again in a couple days, and I'll make a short little quick, hey, I did it, look, I'm good, or whatever. I'll keep you updated though. Thank you so much for being here, and take care, y'all. Bye. I am I am so relieved right now, but also so worried. Okay, love you. Take care of yourselves, please. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, okay? Night.